We have a fantastic interview for you guys on TYTSports. We, of course, are catching up with national sports broadcaster Drea Avent. Drea, what's up?
I'm getting ready to cover some football.
Nice.
Got back from the Olympics for NBC, the 2012 London Olympics, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And one of the experiences I'll never forget in my entire life, because I had never left the country until then.
Okay.
So it was amazing, and just honored that they chose me to do that. It was probably the highlight of my career so far, was that coverage.
Elaborate a little more on the Olympics, because I mean, curious minds. I mean, that's a hell of a role right there.
Yeah, I mean, I was hired to cover the women's soccer team, so I covered them. I was basically traveling to Scotland, then I came back to London, did stories, did on-field interviews with Alex Morgan, all of the girls, and then I was actually called up to do some correspondent work the second week of the Olympics, where I did features. I did a feature on the Royals. I did another feature previewing the Sochi Olympics, the Winter Olympics. So I got to do a lot of different kind of things. I got to be on the field and be live, and then I also got to do some features and some sit-down interviews. So it was an amazing experience. I'm grateful that I got to do that.
So it sounds
and plus
like
I was out of the country, so I've never been out of the country. So it was an amazing experience for me as a person and a broadcaster.
If there's one thing you could also cover outside of the country, I mean, Olympics are top notch. I mean, it's hard to get above that.
It's hard to beat the Olympics. It really is.
But if you could pick one, I mean, what would it be? I mean, for me personally, it would be the World Cup. But I mean, what about for you?
I would have to say I would love to be a part of World Cup coverage, especially because I've covered Major League Soccer for 3 seasons. So I would love to see soccer on the biggest stage, because even when you watch the difference between soccer here and soccer in London, it's just amazing. It's so much more of a passion and so much more of a frenzy over there, because that is their sport. Football is soccer to them, and that is their thing. So I think seeing it on a global scale at the biggest event that they have, the World Cup, would be 1 in a million.
You're winning over plenty of our fans, because we have a very, very large soccer, which they get so incredibly mad about.
Yes.
So we meet the common medium and say, footy, even though they still hate it.
Right. Yeah, you can't please everybody. I mean, sometimes.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I've learned that.
Funny how that works,
business.
huh? Yeah. So let me ask you this. You know, have you dealt with credibility issues? I mean, how do you deal with? Not that you're not credible.
Right.
We know that you're credible, but I mean,
Right.
you know, elaborate a little more on.
Yeah, I mean, credibility is something that's very important, especially if you're a female in sports. I mean, there are a lot of women doing sports these days, but that doesn't change the fact that there's a huge magnifying glass on you if you're a woman covering sports. You're going to be looked at with a little bit more of a critical eye, and you have to know that going in. And for someone like me, I mean, I thrive on that pressure. I grew up as an athlete. I played sports in college. My dad was a recreational youth sports coach, so sports was a part of my life from the very beginning. So when I'm out there, you know, it's not like I'm out of place. I feel like this has been my life, my whole life. So I think viewers can see that, and I think they know if someone's just kind of down there just to get camera time, or if someone's down there because they know what they're talking about. And I think for me, there's been some instances that have really stood out that have kind of validated what I'm trying to do. I know when I was working in Texas, I was on the Spurs beat day in and day out. I was shooting my own stories. I was setting up my own tripod. And one day after practice, Coach Popovich, he came up to me as I was folding up my tripod, and he said, "Hey, you know, I just want to say you're doing a great job. You know what you're talking about. You're a good journalist."
Coming from Pop, that's a lot.
I mean, and he's not the easiest person.
He doesn't say much.
Right,
Yeah.
he's not the easiest person to please. So that was a big moment for me, just because I was just starting out and I really wanted to make a big impression. So that was a moment that stood out to me. And then during NFL coverage, I worked with UCLA head coach Jim Mora before he was hired, and he used to always tell me, you know, we love throwing down to you because you know the game, and we get jacked up to throw down to you because you're passionate and we know you're going to know what you're doing. So that was another thing. And then the final thing that I'll share that was a boost to me was getting a compliment from David Beckham. I mean, when I was covering soccer, he would always tell me, you ask good questions, you know the sport. So to me, those are the validating things that I draw on, because you're always going to have haters. You're always going to have people that don't want to see women on the sidelines. No matter how many times I break down a cover 2 or a blitz package, there's going to be someone sitting at home saying, I don't want her there. And I know that. But for me, I just want to focus on, you know, the things I'm trying to accomplish, and that's continuing to go down a path of, you know, solid work, continuing to try to give the viewers the information in a good way and to be prepared, and that's what I try to do.
Jane Kennedy is by far one of the pioneers of women in sports broadcasting.
Right.
How exactly does it feel to be compared to her, be in the same sentence as her even?
Wow, well, it's a huge compliment. I mean, I'm very flattered by it, especially for me. I consider myself a huge nerd. I mean, when I'm not covering a game, I'm at home doing laundry on a Friday night by myself, listening to Beyonce.
That's not nerdy.
I know, but I digress. But she was just such a glamorous trailblazer. I mean, she came in not only as a woman of color, but as a woman in sports at a time when, you know, there just weren't that many women. She blazed a trail. She made herself an icon. She made viewers just fall in love with her on the screen, and she put in so much work. She hung with those guys on the set. She just did such an amazing job, and I admire everything that she's been able to do as far as what, in her prime, what she did with her career and the impact that she made. So she's definitely someone that I look up to, and she is an icon in my mind. And even to this day, she's doing charity work, she's out in the community, so her days on camera are long gone, but she's still making a positive impact. So if I could, when all is said and done, have 1/4 of the impact that she had, I would be happy. So it's an amazing compliment.
Have you had the privilege to talk to her at all?
I haven't. I actually was supposed to meet her a long time ago. Someone that I knew had a friend that supposedly knew her, but then, you know,
fell through.
It fell through. I got my hopes up, and then it fell through. But yeah, I would love to meet her one day and just, you know, compare notes and kind of talk about some of the things that she went through. And I have my own story of some of the things that I've gone through, even, you know, a much later time than her. So I would love to meet her one day. I hope that that happens.
Okay, ready?
What?
Let me help you out.
Okay.
Jane, if you're watching this clip, where am I going? Right here? If you're watching this clip, give her a call. I mean, come on.
Let's make it happen.
So, okay,
that would be great.
We'll make it happen.
That'd be a bucket list thing for me, is to meet her. So.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So that sort of speaks to your point about how important it would be to you.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
It'd be huge.
It'd be huge. And I'm, you know, when people say that, it's very nice of them to say that. Again, she was just so glamorous. I'm a nerd, but I appreciate it.
All right, you're a nerd. We get it. All right. So let me ask you this. Well, firstly, she worked for NFL Today. You're working in the NFL. I mean, that's a little bit of a similarity. Let me read you this, though, and then I'll get your take on this.
No.
She said this: "I'm such an advocate of youth in sports and the whole process. I really believe that sports teaches a lot in developing character, especially for our young women."
One thing about sports is that you can go to a game and you'll see all people rooting for their team. You'll see all different types of religions rooting for their team. You'll see all different types of political affiliations rooting for one team. So that's one of the reasons why I got into this, was because it really unites everybody. And that's one thing I loved about sports, being on different teams myself. I saw myself grow, I saw other people around me grow, because it's such a melting pot. That's what I love about sports.
We mentioned Jane Kennedy and how you sort of want to have this lasting impact. I mean, I'm sure you've thought about it, you know, where you want to be down the road and everything, but I mean, where would you like to be, and what impact would you like to have?
Wow, well, I would just like to have an impact of, you know, someone that worked hard, that started from the bottom, you know, shooting my own stories. I know that I got an email from a girl who was working in Illinois, in a small town in Illinois, and she emailed me and she said, "I've read about you. You've overcome a station laying you off. You've overcome a station shutting down." She's like, "I have a news director that told me that I'm not good enough and they're letting me go." And I said, "You have to prove him wrong." And that's the thing about me. I just want to continue to move forward no matter what stands in my way, or no matter who may doubt me or whatever. I just want to keep moving forward in a positive light. I've covered some big things. I've covered the NFL, I've covered the Olympics. I want to do more of that. I mean, I still would love to do a World Cup like we talked about earlier. That would be a highlight of my career. I would love to do more sit-down interviews, more features at the national level, hopefully. So that's all stuff that I would love to do. And I just hope that when all is said and done, I continued my path of doing things the ethical way, the blue collar way, the hardworking way, and just always staying positive, you know, no matter what happens. And just, it's, you know, it's a tough business, but it can also be very rewarding. So I hope that people see how much fun I have out there too, when all is said and done, because it's a dream job to be out there and to be on the field and to see these games up close and personal and to just be out there experiencing it all. I mean, it's a job that a lot of people want to have. So I feel very blessed, and I hope that, you know, as I continue to go on, I still have that feeling of, you know, butterflies and excitement. You know, just like I had when I started in Texas, and I would go to the Houston Rocket game or the Spurs game, and I was like, wow, you know, I'm here, but you're still professional, but you know that you're in a privileged situation that is pretty amazing, and I just want to give good information to the viewers. I want to try.
Well, could you say this? It's fun, it's cutthroat, but it's also a tremendous privilege.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, it's cutthroat, it's a tremendous privilege. I know for me, I'm really in this because I love sports. I know I traveled with one of my producers last season, and we'd go through the airport and I'd have my binder and people would say, "Oh, are you a student or were you headed to a game or you're a cheerleader? And my producer's like, doesn't that make you upset? Like, doesn't that bruise your ego? And I said, no, because I know that I'm going to go cover a game, and I love cheerleaders and students. I was a student, so it's not insulting to me at all to, if people don't know why I'm there, they don't know where I'm going. I know that I'm down there, and I'm going to try to do a great job when I'm on the field. So it's really about the games to me. The other stuff, it doesn't matter. I just want to be out there.
Yeah.
If people think I'm the stat person, that's cool. I mean, I have no ego about that. I mean, I'm down there. It's like, hey, what's the stat? Okay, cool. I'll give it to you. I don't have any issues with that. I'm really a big sports fan, and that's
clearly.
Yeah. Rick's like, I think
not a bad thing.
You've driven that point home today.
No. We've learned that you're a sports fan and a nerd. It's totally cool.
I know.
But you are tremendously driven.
Right. And I've talked to you about that, Rick.
Yeah,
we talked about my nerdy tendencies. So.
Yeah, some. So I mean, look, thank you so much for coming on
Rick.
again. It was
I love
cool.
what you guys are doing here. I love it here.
Where can people find your stuff on Facebook, on Twitter?
Yeah.
What have you?
I have a
Plug
Twitter.
yourself. Go.
Yeah, I have a Twitter. I'm trying to get better at tweeting more consistently. I fall off on that, but I do have a Twitter. It's at Drea Event, and then I have a Facebook too, which I just updated for the first time in a couple of months. But
very cool.
I'm gonna get better at it too. I don't have an Instagram yet. I think that's one extra thing for me to worry about right now.
If you want to.
I know, right? But I've heard great things about Instagram, but just not there yet. So I'm just kind of sticking in my lane of Twitter and Facebook right now because that's enough for me to really deal with right now.